What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Phil Burnell, aka DarkSydePhil here. Fuck off, you're gone, don't come back.
Where am I playing? You still haven't told me!
Well, because DSP did well, it's bullshit.
Check out the shirt.
Take this, bitch!
None of the other shit that's said about me has been true. They're rich, I'm not.
Because Kojima's a fucking cocksucker.
Thanks for the money, stupid fuck. Why am I toxic?
The King of Hate, DSP, DarkSydePhil, Philip Burnell, all names for the same person, a Let's Player that rose to prominence in the late 2000s and early 2010s. Now, he struggles to maintain any relevance on the internet and streaming community. I will be documenting his story from his origins to the present through a series of videos. Some of the earliest sightings of DarkSydePhil would be on Shoryuken Forums, a fighting game community website dedicated to discussing Street Fighter and other fighting games. He would be known for his controversial opinions and aggressiveness, and due to this, the fighting game community generally disliked him and he gained a following of haters. Ultimately, his actions on the forums would culminate at a Street Fighter II tournament. EVO is a national fighting game tournament, which DarkSydePhil would attend in 2002. DSP would not accomplish anything of note at this tournament, but he would be confronted by another fighting game community member, Jaha. Jaha would later recount his encounter with DarkSydePhil, providing some details on what happened.
The reason we fucking had to run him down, and this happened fucking twice, is because the guy likes to talk a lot of shit on the internet. And the fucking beauty of the fighting game community is that, you know, you can hide behind a fucking screen and talk shit just like how we have these internet trolls. But with Street Fighter, you have to show up physically to the fucking tournament.
Exactly.
Leaving with like him and a couple of his boys, it was that's when it was time to like roll up on him. We followed him outside and we caught him outside, and I'm there with my freaking JVC kaboom box and shit, 'cause that's how I rolled and stuff. And I was with a couple of my fucking boys, and they were getting up in like, you know, DSP's fucking friends' faces too, just to fucking make sure none of them got crazy, but they were all fucking shitting bricks. Fucking getting up in his face, asking why the fuck he's talking shit, and what the fuck's his problem, and he's fucking just, you know, just fucking cowering and all fucking scared, and him and his friends are trying to fucking leave, and we're not letting them. And then, you know, I pretty much, to make a long story short, I pretty much just fucking told him, hey, you fucking lost one match, you're gonna fucking pay him fucking $10 or fucking $20, because that's the percentage of fucking the matches that he would have fucking lost. Which and fucking, you know, just scared fucking him shitless until he fucking, you know, he paid the fucking like $10 or whatever to fucking shady him. Then we let him fucking leave, and then he fucking got the fuck out of there with the quickness. You know, he just turns fucking white, and it's funny because he just like talks so much shit on the internet, but when you run into him in fucking person, he's just fucking, you know, turns white as a ghost.
Right.
Other members of the fighting game community would also hear about this incident. Another one, Justin Wong, would also recount this.
Because what DSP does, like, in person he's all nice to me and shit, but and then when he makes a YouTube video, he thinks he's all hard and crap. So that's what gets me pissed off. Like, do you guys remember the whole thing with DSP and like with the West Coast people, where they almost like he was like really scared because he was about to get beat up?
He was about to get roughed up. Yeah, I remember that in San Diego.
I think Jaha approached him at Evo or something, right?
Evo West, was that the San Diego event? Yeah.
Yeah, I think like Jaha and like Watson were like looking for him if he ever came down to one of the Evo events or something.
Yeah, so like he was like, I heard he was like crying and everything, so that was pretty funny.
Oh my goodness.
With the King of Hate's hate leaking into real life as he attended tournaments, DSP would embrace it and make DarkSydePhil a brand of hate.
We got the man of all hate, the one and only DSP, DarkSydePhil. I call him Phil, because Phil's cool.
You know, everyone says that I'm a big hater, but I only hate on people because they hate on me first. So everything that I say on the internet may be in good fun, but it's just in reaction to all the other bullshit that goes on behind the scenes. We'll see today what really happens when Valle and Choi play me on an arcade cabinet and see what new excuse they can think up.
There you go. You heard it from DSP. Straight from DSP. DSP, thank you. Check out the shirt.
Take this, bitch!
Hate that.
In 2003, DarkSydePhil would create his own website called Top Haters, where he would write long editorials similar to what he did on Shoryuken Forums, such as "Why Counter-Strike and Warcraft 3 suck, you are all mindless." It would have its own forum section where his fans and haters could come and comment, discuss, and potentially try and troll him. Less than a year later, the website would shut down. He would leave a departing message saying, "In short, you're not going to see DSP, or Phil Burnell, the King of Hate, or DarkSydePhil, or Will Moses, or the guy who got punked by Jaha, or Monkey Spank, or anything else at East Coast Championship. I'm hungry. Hungrier than ever before, and at East Coast Championship, I'm going to fuck you up. I wouldn't know a better way to say goodbye. DSP. Nothing else notable would happen in 2004, but in 2005, DarkSydePhil decided to attend the 2005 EVO Championship. DarkSydePhil would be playing Street Fighter 2 Turbo, but this year's version of the game would be controversial because the EVO Championship would be using the PlayStation conversion of the game. This would prove to be controversial as the fighting game community found that the differences between the PlayStation and arcade version were drastic, so a lot of competitors that would have played were inexperienced with the PlayStation version or chose not to play at all.
In 2005, I think it was, the three of you were absent from ST Top 8. What happened that year? You can defer that question if you'd like.
I think it was a combination of, I think it was the first console ST that we played on for a while, and we just kind of took it lightly, thinking that it's pretty much the same as arcade. So I really didn't get that version, go out of the way to get it and practice on it. And when we actually got there, it wasn't that different, but the minor differences were enough to throw us off. And yeah, I lost really fast, and then so did everybody.
It was probably
else.
on Turbo 3.
DarkSydePhil would take advantage of this new version of the game and practice relentlessly so he could be one of the top players with this new version of the game. He would max out his credit cards to attend this 2005 tournament. It was a gamble, but in the end, he did place in the top 8, taking 4th place in the tournament. He would later state that he was the #1 ranked American player in this tournament because the first 3 places were taken by Japanese players. Even though he may have been placed relatively high in the tournament, the fighting game community did not consider this as a legitimate win for DSP.
You got some idiot named DSP who's a total piece of shit, by the way. I like to get that on YouTube, but this guy thought he was hot shit because he beat me and Choi in a game that was like, it's like fucking Neo Geo conversion of Street Fighter or some crap, dude. and he was so proud that he put under as a signature, he's the #1 US ranked Super Turbo player that year. But I mean, look at him now. I mean, he's just... 20,000 idiots are subscribed to him. That's great. Congratulations. Congratulations with your YouTube channel, and hope you enjoy your life, bro. I mean, it's a great victory. PlayStation 1 Super Turbo champion. You take that to your grave, bro. Good luck.
It was a really bad fucking conversion because you figure Super Turbo is a fucking arcade game, and it just, it was just so fucking hard for like console makers to get an arcade perfect. There's just so many little fucking things about the game with every character and shit. So he fucking won, and his gums were fucking flopping. He's talking shit on the fucking internet. He's still, like you said, you guys heard about this story, so he's still talking shit about it, to this day.
Yeah.
But
instead of saying he got 4th, he claims that he was the #1 ranked U.S. player for 2005.
You think you're fucking good, then play us on the fucking arcade version for any fucking amount of money.
Exactly.
But he never fucking fucking accepted that, of course, because he fucking knows that it was like a bunk version that nobody fucking plays, that he got a fucking fluke win off of. So he's just one of those fucking guys that just runs his mouth on the internet freely, but when you get in person, he's fucking quiet as a mouse. And
DarkSydePhil would refute this and claim his win as legitimate because he put into practice to get good at the game. DarkSydePhil also claims the fighting game community only has a problem that he won, and if it was anyone else, they would have accepted that as a legitimate win.
How about you let these people know the real Phil, the real reason for the hate? Let them know.
The real reason for the hate is because people just have massive disrespect. I mean, for years, these same guys are on top. And yes, I'm talking about John Choi, I'm talking about Alex Valle, playing ST, placing, okay, they're good. But to disrespect the people that got top 8 at Evolution, to make excuses because it's on console, it's ridiculous. And it's unacceptable. For Valle to say that just because he didn't enter the tournament is the reason that the top 8 got top 8, that's bullshit. And I think that he needs to really prove himself and actually redeem himself for saying something like that, because it's disrespectful to everyone who did place top 8.
It was a completely unique experience and year, because if you guys saw Hate Live a couple months back, I did my EVO 2005 story. This was the year when I literally had no money. I basically maxed out my credit cards to go out. I went to Evolution. I ended up getting 5th place in Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo at the national level, okay? National level fighting game championships. And the only people who placed above me were Japanese players. So, actually, I think it wasn't 5th, it was 4th place. Man, I'm misspeaking. I ended up getting 4th place that year. And like I said, the top 3 players were Japanese players, so technically that year I was the highest ranking American in Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. This, of course, spurned a ton of controversy. A ton. Phil sucks. Phil's not actually good at Street Fighter. The only reason that Phil did anything at that tournament is because he played an inferior version of the game. He would never win at a different version of this game. He's a complete joke. He's a fluke, blah, blah, blah. Keep in mind, I have to say, I didn't pick the version of the game. Evo's staff did. So until I won, it wasn't really a thing of contention. Only after I did well and got the highest ranking, American place in that tournament. Then, of course, now the tournament's bullshit.
Regardless if this was considered a legitimate win or not in the eyes of the fighting game community, DSP was proud of this moment and would recount it many years later, expressing how much work he's put into it.
So I decided that I was going to practice the hell out of Super Turbo Arcade Edition, Super Turbo Anniversary Edition, excuse me, because I wanted to really win Evo East and go on to the Nationals. Like, this was my goal. This was what I really wanted to do. And previously, the year before, it had been this Japanese player named Takedo, who had beaten me when we had done our Vega mirror match in the Super Turbo Finals on stage at Evolution 2005. And I was determined that if I ever played him, I was going to beat him again. It was like my goal. I have to be so good in this game that when I play this guy, I beat him, right? And that was kind of like my dedicate. I have to avenge my loss last year.
With his placement in EVO 2005, this would inspire DSP to continue this fighting game path, entering more tournaments to attempt to win EVO. DSP would try to win in EVO 2006, but EVO was having a regional tournament qualifier, so you would have to play in a regional tournament such as East and West to be able to qualify for the national tournament. In this regional tournament, DSP would defeat Justin Wong. Justin Wong was a fighting game competitor that's been well established, so this win would give DSP some legitimacy in the fighting game scene.
And I actually remember I showed up and I knew I was the best player there because I was watching everyone else playing, including James Chen was there, he was playing, and Seth Killian and Justin Wong and Julian Robinson from Philadelphia, and all these killer players from all over the country had showed up to EVO East. Some people even came to EVO East thinking it was going to be easier to qualify for EVO by entering East because they thought that was the weaker group of players. Oh, EVO East, that's going to be the weaker people, right?
DSP's goal was to win EVO, but mainly he wanted to defeat Takedo, the person who defeated him in the 2005 EVO Championship.
My final match is against, guess who? Takedo. Now this is the guy who beat me in 2005 on stage, mirror match with Vega. And I'm like, so I know the reason he beat me last year is because he knew a little bit more about the character than I did. I'm going to pick the character that I think I know the most about, and I should be able to beat him. I picked Champion Edition Bison. He saw that. He immediately picked Champion Edition Bison too, and I was like, oh no. Because when you have a Champion Edition Bison mirror match and the opponents are equally matched, it's a 50-50 shot. It's basically whoever grounds the opponent first wins the whole round. And he won. He knocked me down, and I fucking lost. And I was like, I wanted to rip my fucking shirt off like Hulk Hogan and be like, fuck this shit. What the fuck? Bullshit, cocksucking, duty fuck piece of shit. And it's just so frustrating when you put so much time into something to lose to that.
EVO 2006 would be the last time DarkSydePhil would really participate in the fighting game community. He would participate in smaller tournaments over the years, but not to great success. At some point after the 2006 EVO between 2006 and 2008, DarkSydePhil would call into a radio show focused around the fighting game community. DarkSydePhil would get into an argument with the host of the show live on air while the host was drunk.
Shit about someone you don't fucking know.
Dude, let me tell you something. Like you don't talk shit about other people.
This is the same guy who 2 nights ago I said I was gonna save your ass. I was gonna send you.
Dude, if you ain't gonna save my ass, then don't save it.
My own fucking pocket because I like your radio show. And you go on this show and you talk shit about me like, oh,
you a one hypocrite ass dude.
Fuck up and you listen to me.
You shut the fuck up and let me explain.
First
of all, you a fucking hypocrite. Because you have no problem. You have no problem talking about my shit.
I'm gonna whoop your fucking ass.
Oh, really? You gonna whoop my fucking ass? Oh, I want to see that shit.
So why are you directing all your fucking hate towards me? What did I do to you?
Because you're a fucking hypocrite. Because you rag on people that are cool for no fucking apparent reason.
Who do I rag on? Let's hear
Like
it.
earlier, like not earlier, you was ragging on Tempest yet again, like you was last week, over some bullshit. Who the fuck cares if his hair was red, yellow, pink? I don't care. It ain't your fucking hair.
All right, name one negative thing I've done that has hurt the community. Please name it right now.
Dude, let me tell you something. Like I said, how is it that I talk to 20 different people and maybe one of them has something positive to say about you?
That you didn't answer my question. Call out one negative thing I've done that's hurt the community. Name it right now.
Hurt the community? Like I paid attention. You know what? I am sitting here. I'm talking about shit that happened right here in the channel. I'm not talking about what happened 6 months ago. I'm not talking about what happened 1 year ago. I'm talking about what fucking happened in this channel. Because you fucking rag on people left and right like you own the fucking shit. You don't own jack shit. I don't care how many fucking tournaments you've won.
Yeah,
what happened
and I
with
won
that?
Evo East.
What happened
What are
with
you
that?
talking about?
You were supposed you got pieced out by
Waving it
some
around,
Japanese
dude.
You got pieced out by some Japanese dude. What the fuck happened with that?
Yeah, it's called random top tier abuse. What do you want me to say?
Random?
And I didn't make
No.
any
You a
excuse.
top tier. You a top player, dude. You the fucking king of the fucking AE Hill, dude.
Because I picked CE Bison against CE Bison. I did a mirror match because I thought I had the better CE Bison. My fault that I lost. I could have picked other characters and counterpicked them and beat them easily. But instead I did a stupid move and I picked the wrong character. And I'm not saying that I'm, so much better than him. I'm really pissed that I lost at Evo because I shouldn't have. I should have beaten him and made top 8. And think about after he... Let me tell you something, Bunke. Because you're drunk right now, I'm going to forgive you. But if you ever get on this phone sober, and you ever get on this show sober, and you talk shit about me, I will find you, I will cut your fucking balls off, and I'll shove them down your fucking throat.
Someone recorded this.
Fat-ass faggot. I'm not afraid of you,
Dude, someone record this shit. I want somebody to record this shit right now. Repeat that for me.
DarkSydePhil wouldn't have many more notable moments in the fighting game community. He would leave a legacy of rage and hate that many fighting game community members will remember and recount through videos.
DSP, stop recording. No one gets a shit. Play. You can't hold up a tournament. 1 minute for DSP to report this match is disqualified.
Where am I playing? You still haven't told me. Jesus Christ, man. I treat you like you're a rookie. Want me to run the fucking tournament for you?
DarkSydePhil says he would like to go to another Evo, but fears that he's going to get a lot of hate coming his way due to his success being a Let's Player now. He claims that people hate him solely because he's successful now, and they would target him just to make a name for themselves.
Ask me, am I ever... Dark Ray 117 says, will I ever go back to Evo now that I'm getting back into Street Fighter? Listen, it's not 100% out of the question that I would ever go back to Evo, but here's what you have to realize. If I were to go back to Evo now, it's insanely different than if I were to go back to Evo years ago before any of this, because now let's face it, I'm known on YouTube, I'm known on Twitch, I'm known over the internet. There's different people who have different opinions of me, right? And in particular in the fighting game community, there were always a group of people who didn't like me, right? But now there's a group of people that hate me because I made it. Because I'm successful at what I do, because now I moved out to Washington, I've got a nice big house, there are people that hate my fucking guts for it. So now if I'm going to make a public appearance at something like Evo, there will be people who will be assholes to me just for the sake of doing it to try to make a name for themselves. And I don't know if I'm ready to deal with that kind of level of bullshit and immaturity. I don't want to hire a fucking bodyguard to walk around with me, you know what I mean? And I just know there would be people there who would probably try to fucking start trouble just because I am who I am and because I've been successful. That's it. We've got to take a shit on him because of that. And I don't know if I would want to handle it. Would I love to go back to Evo? At least once, yes. I would love it one last time. Go to Evo, play Super Turbo, see people who I haven't seen in years, and kind of one more last hurrah, big bang, get it out of my system. But I don't know if I ever will simply because of that reason. It's probably not worth the bullshit.
DarkSydePhil said this in 2015, and as of 2022, he has not attended another Evo competition and has not attended any major tournament to my knowledge. He continues to play fighting games to this day, and specifically he plays a lot of Street Fighter. DarkSydePhil transitions into being a Let's Player around 2008, when he starts leaving the fighting game community and started to focus on his YouTube channel. One of the biggest things he gained from the fighting game community was a friend, John Rambo.
John Rambo. This is one of the instances where I met John Rambo because I did so well at Evolution that year. That was one of the ways I met John Rambo. He wanted to play with me because he wanted to get better, and that's how we learned Super Turbo together.
John Rambo and DSP would meet while participating in a fighting game tournament, but they would develop a friendship from this. This friendship would have a massive impact on DSP's Let's Play career. In the end, DSP's origins and time in the fighting game community would be a little blip on the radar for what he is known for. DSP is really known for his Let's Plays, and he would peak in his career in the upcoming years. In the next part, we'll be covering DSP's exit from the fighting game community and entry into being a Let's Player. We'll be following his rise to fame. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe if you would like to see the next part of the series.